growing up with a motto, let learning be joy and teaching a pleasure. Here we are with remote teaching and learning process to bridge the gap. Happy learning, students. Yeah, Mrs. Sonal Shah Doshi from Thakur Vidya Mandir High School and Junior College, teaching you all geography today for grade 9, chapter 4, exogenetic processes, part 2. This I am showing you part 1 today. So students, we have learned till now that which are the active forces on planet Earth. Those are endogenic forces and exogenic forces. You have learned that forces acting inside the Earth are called endogenic forces, while on other hand, forces which are acting on the surface of the Earth are called exogenic forces. Endogenic forces are further subdivided into slow forces or sudden forces. The forces like formation of mountains are called slow forces which acting upon the surface of earth. The processes through which volcanic eruptions are there are called sudden forces. While exogenic forces can be divided into weathering and erosion. In previous chapter, you have learnt about weathering. This chapter is all about erosion. You have seen that what causes the landscape to be different. The answer is weathering, erosion or deposition. You have learnt about weathering. It can be physical, chemical or biological. Today we are going to learn about erosion. What do you mean by the term erosion? So, erosion is the geological process in which earthen materials are worn away, means wiped off, and transported by natural forces such as wind or water. In simple words, it means to say that due to the force of wind and water, the things on the land, natural things which are there on the land, wiped out. That thing is called erosion. You can see over here that soil is wiped out due to the flow of water. The eroded materials get carried away by the agents. Here the agent is water in this picture and the eroded material is soil. When the speed of the agent reduces, the materials get deposited. You have seen when you go over the beaches that due to the flow of water, many of the materials are coming towards the beaches accumulated, and when the flow goes away from the shore, they are just still there. That means they are accumulated or deposited on the coastal areas. The same way, the eroded materials get carried away by the agents, and when the speed of the agent reduces, the materials get deposited. The agents like running water, that means river, glaciers, means ice bodies, wind, sea waves, and groundwater do the work of erosion, transportation, and deposition. So, here erosion means wipe out, transportation means carried away to another place, and deposition means leave it over there only. Because of these agents, the earth's surface keeps on undergoing changes and new landforms are formed. Here I have shown you the picture where erosion is there because of the wind, strong wind. Here, due to the high temperature, rocks are getting affected. So we are going to study some of these landforms in this lesson. But before that, we have to study the basics of the chapter. Work of rivers and landforms. First and foremost, what do you mean by the term river? And how will you differentiate between rills, gully, streams and river? You have recollected or not? So rills and gullies. As runoff travels across the soil, rills form. They are the tiny grooves in the soil that grows larger, forming gullies. Like small villages form a district. The same way, rills are tiny grooves in the soil that grow larger, forming gullies. A gully is the large groove or channel in the soil that carries runoff after a storm. It moves soils and rocks. You have to remember like this. Like many of the small villages form a district, many of the districts form a state, and many of the states form nation. The same way, rills are the smallest water bodies. Many of the rills form gullies, and so many gullies together, when they comes together, they form streams, and many streams together form river. So gullies only contain water after it rains. Streams and rivers. As I told you, many of the gullies join together to form a larger channel is called a stream. Water continuously flows here and rarely dries up. Here the difference between gullies and streams. Gullies are carrying water only when it rains, while streams are continuously flowing. Small streams may be called creeks or brooks, and small streams flow together to form a large stream called a river. As I told you, you have to remember like this. Many of the villages form district, many districts form a state, and many states together form nation. The same way, many rills together form gullies, many gullies together form streams, and many streams together form river. Here are the pictures of rill, gully, stream, and over here large water body, large stream called river. So when many such flows of water come together, a river is formed. Running water flows naturally in the direction according to the gravity along the slope and makes its own way. This is called a flow of water, and many of such flows of water come together to form a river. Now the factors which affect the erosion, transportation and depositional work of the river. As I told you, the slope of the land. Is it gentle? It is steepy? It is flatter? Which type of slope of land is there? According to that, the velocity of the water depends and erosion process depends accordingly. The type of rock. Which type of rock is there? Sedimentary or igneous? Now volume of water flowing in the river. If large volume of water is there, then the erosion will be in much more quantity, and vice versa. The length of the flow, volume of sediments in the river, etc. are other factors on which erosional, transportational and depositional work of the rivers depend. Here I have shown you the pictures of all those factors: slope of the land, types of rocks, volume in the river, length of the river, and the amount of sediments they are keeping. So today we have learned basics about river and erosion. In next part we will learn in detail. Thank you all.